Alright guys, quick video how to, well, not necessarily how to, but here's a disassembly of the Kershaw Induction. Kind of a pain in the butt, honestly. Just going to be straight up honest with you, it was not easy to do. I don't recommend taking it apart. There's a lot of moving pieces, and you can see here the lock is taken apart as well. I was messing with this because I heard a rattle in the knife, and it sounded like it was coming from inside of here, and yeah, I ended up messing it up. So it's kind of how it works with the lock. There's these two springs as well, and then these little rods, and they go, I think the rods and the spring go in here. It was really hard to see. It kind of shot out on me, so I gotta figure that out still. But the big thing to note is it's not on bearings, it's on washers. It's got a Teflon and a bronze washer. So you got two different washers. So it's not on bearings like I thought it was. It flips like it's on bearings, which tells you how good that mechanism is. This was a real pain to get off. This is the inlay. Because this pivot was pressed in there so tightly, and you had to take this out to get this off, and this would just spin when you were undoing the pivot screw. So a little trick I did was I had this part done up, and I kind of rotated this a little bit, put some pressure so this wouldn't spin, and then I spun that and got it up. So kind of a pain though, not the easiest knife to take apart. Now I got to figure out how to put it together, but hey, what do you know? It does have washers, not bearings. And see, the stop pin looks like it goes here, up here, like so. And then you put the pivot back in. I got to figure out how to fix the lock too. That's going to be another fun thing. So I'm not going to do that on video for the sake of time, but that just kind of gives you an inside look at the Kershaw Induction. Lots of moving parts going on, guys. Not the easiest knife to take apart. Pretty complex locking mechanism, and getting these guys. Now that I got that inlay off, this should be a lot easier. These were a total pain to work with before, and you got these springs. I think they're going to continue to be a total pain to work with, honestly, because you got to get that spring in there and that little channel. And I think that's where that rod goes. I can't figure out anywhere else where it would go. So it's got to go in there, and you just got to get those springs in there. Yeah, that'll be fun. Fun to figure out. So give me a little project to work on. So yeah, there you go. Inside the Kershaw Induction, it is on washers, not bearings. There's a good look at the hawk lock, and yeah, kind of a cool, little video just to show you what it looks like. If I get it back together, I'll show you how I do that as well. Okay, I didn't catch it on camera, and I should have been recording because I figured it out. The springs, I did have the springs incorrectly. You use this inlay to put pressure on the springs and then kind of slide the inlay on, and that way they'll stay together. So hopefully that works out. It should. I'm going to reinstall the pivot now. And what you can do as well to hold it together is install these screws here. These are just T6. That way it holds the springs in, and you don't have to keep holding it. Pretty good that I figured that out, though. I'm kind of proud of myself. Because it was kind of a pain. Those springs want to literally spring away from you. Let's see. One of these has the yep, that's the long one. One of the screws is longer, too, on the handle for the barrel spacer. So make sure when you install it that you got the longer screws for the barrel spacer. Okay, now the lock's not going to screw around with me anymore. Sweet. Now I got to remember how the washers went. I believe the Teflon was on the outside and the phosphorus was on the inside. Oops. Lost our Teflon. I think you need to line up the blade a certain way too with these two holes. You gotta make sure they're in there in that channel. And are they? Yes, oh, there they go. Okay. I got those. Nice. I did. Alright. Pivot, washer. Gotta put your stop pin. Oh, that's not where the stop pin goes. That's just a screw. Stop pin goes up there. Alright. Okay. And then you're gonna put your barrels. Oh, one of them's still attached. Like, where's my barrel spacer? This one's gonna go through here. Like I said, this is a tricky knife to put. I mean, it's not terribly hard if you're mechanically inclined at all. You should be able to do it, but it's definitely not like your typical pocket knife at all. And it's nothing like the Access Lawk. I mean, it's pretty unique. Okay, put a spacer back in there. This top pin's getting all skitty umpus on me. Might be easiest to do it this way. Part of the fun though of having it. Oh, see? That lock sprung on me. Part of the fun of having knives, right, is taking them apart, figure out how they work, and putting them back together. So. Nice thing, there wasn't a lot of grease or anything, and sometimes when you get these cheaper Kershaws, oops, I got the washers backwards. I want the phosphorus on the blade. You could put some oil in here and stuff if you wanted to. I didn't, because it flips just fine without it, so I didn't feel the need to do it, but put some oil in there if you want. Alright, the tricky part's going to be to not have that blade spring off on me again like that. Alright, I'm just gonna put this pivot in. I think I'm missing a screw somewhere. I am missing a screw. That's the worst. You get it put back together like, wait, I missed, oh, you know, I heard it fall earlier, so it's the one that goes up here, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Alright, centering's off on that, so let's see if we can get that pivot tight. Okay, I'm running the same problem I had before, where it just spins. But, yeah, and it has a weird, hear that? I'm guessing it's just the springs inside of the knife and it's just always going to sound like that. Because nothing's broken. I mean, that one screw's missing, which I'll find on the floor. I know where it went. Centering I'll have to mess with. But, nice working again. Yeah, it's got some blade play. So the struggle with this one is, how do you tighten the pivot when this is moving? And you can't pull this off to do the little trick I did before because the springs will go flying. So you got to find a way to put enough pressure on that to have the pivot spin. Not bad. It's got some play. So I got to figure out how to tighten that pivot. Well, that'll help. Actually, find that screw. That'll help reduce the play as well. Oh, there it is. Lucky. Thought I landed on this cardboard I have down here, so. So this should help some of that play, getting all those screws nice and snug. So, just gonna mess around with this pivot a little bit more, see how that moves. Can't see it, let's see. I don't know if you can see it, but it spins. Because you can't put pressure on that part right there. Yeah. So we got a little bit of play, I'll have to mess around with it a little more, but there you go. Kershaw induction back together.